Hey guys, how's it going? So today I am going to be doing a review of Fortnite. Now, Fortnite is currently in early access and it has released like I think 4 or 5 months ago, but as you will see in the video, the game is really quite playable in the early access model. These days it seems that a lot of games go into early access, the same as Fortnite did, and they are actually really playable. Like you can spend upwards of 1,000 hours playing the game. So some early access games are actually more complete and more fun and have a bigger campaign than some games who just don't release in early access. Some games that like release with a full release. So that's quite strange because some games have been in early access state for years. I mean, I can call out a few names of games that I know that have been in early access for upwards of 3 or 4 years, and they just remain in early access, and that in my opinion has to do with taxes. A lot of tax breaks are given to games that are in early access. So where a normal game would be taxed let's say 40%, a game that is technically marked as early access is only taxed like 20%. That's actually how the rules work, the tax laws work. So that is why so many of these games stay in early access for longer than a year. Some of them stay in early access for like close to 5 years, simply because they make more money that way. So, Fortnite has been released in early access and I have been playing it for the past 4 or so months. I've probably put in upwards of 300 hours in the game so far, but there's really no way for me to show you guys that directly, since there is no playtime indicator in the game, unfortunately. I would actually be quite intrigued to see how much time I have actually spent in the game. So I am quickly going to jump into a mission, and then after that I've done that mission, I will show you guys all of the different stuff that like the leveling up works, like how the leveling up works, how you make your heroes more powerful, how you gain more weapons, and all of that different stuff. So I'm first going to jump into a mission, and I am going to select my hero, which is a ninja. I will explain a little bit more about the ninjas and the constructors and soldiers and outlanders a little bit later. Those are the 4 different classes that you get in the game. And then at the beginning you can also select your perks. You have a choice of or you can select 2 perks, but you have a choice of a bunch of different perks. But I won't explain about that much, since it is not really going to affect our gameplay all that much. The perks really don't get used hardly ever. And as you can see here at the top right, early access. Obviously, as I said, these games remain in early access for sometimes more than a year, simply because they get tax breaks that way. So any stuff that is sold in the game is taxed less than what it would be if the game was released in a full version. So yeah, so today I am going to hopefully play 2 missions in this video. That should make the video around an hour and a half long, but we will see how that works out. Some missions, if you rush a mission, can take 15 minutes. And if you don't rush a mission, then you can often spend up to an hour in a single mission. And that's something that I quite like. Some missions you can really rush, and other missions you can just take your sweet time and not really have to play that hardcore. You can play very casually. So the aim of the game is to collect different materials. At the left there you can see you have wood, iron and bricks. Now obviously iron is the most powerful and bricks is second most powerful, and wood is not very powerful at all. And as you will see, we use these materials to build a fort, and then you defend that fort against the zombies. They are called husks in the game, but you will see they very closely resemble zombies. So for the purposes of keeping things simple, I'm just going to be calling them zombies through this entire mission. So my hero that I'm playing with right now is a ninja, and the ninja is pretty cool because the ninja can save bullets. They have a bunch of strong abilities, and those abilities kill the husks instead of you using up all your ammo, because ammo is really not rare, but it is certainly something that you should use sparingly, because if you don't use it sparingly, then you are going to have to spend a bunch of time to get back the ammo, because you craft ammo in the game and then you shoot that ammo out. Very much like just about any other fantasy game where you have to craft arrows or craft bolts, and you then have to or you then shoot out those arrows and bolts that you have crafted. So like Skyrim or anything like that, it's very much the same. So you can craft ammo, but it costs some of your resources. Not a lot, but it does cost some of your resources. And obviously in order to get back those resources you have to farm. So you run around, you open stuff like this, you destroy buildings, you destroy cars and stuff to get steel, and then you craft ammo. Like for instance, if you select your gun, which you do by simply pressing 1, 2, 3 or 4, and then you just press and hold R, you will then start crafting ammo. And you can see at the left there my resources are going down. As you will see here, it costs 10 wood, 4 metal and 2 nuts and bolts in order to craft this type of ammo, and you get 40 of those bullets then. So you can shoot to your heart's content. This guy's AFK, I'm just gonna save him there so that he doesn't get killed. You can craft or you can shoot to your heart's content, but you will then have to go out and recoup those resources that you have spent, which isn't really nice, because you could be spending that time, instead of farming, you could be spending it killing zombies and getting more experience and stuff like that. So that's why I like the ninja, because the ninja can do a dragon slash, which you do by pressing Z, or you can do shurikens like this that you throw and they do damage, or you can just press C and then it is a smoke bomb. I will show you those things later, like those abilities. Like here I'm going to do a dragon slash, and you can see I obliterated that zombie because my dragon slash is quite powerful. And we throw down a smoke bomb that will damage the husk, and then we just destroy this thing so that we can get at this guy over here. And these guys shoot out like a eye beam, almost like a cyclops type thing, and the I-beam actually follows you. You cannot dodge the I-beam. As soon as he has locked onto you, he will hit you 100% of the time. So you have to constantly move around him like this so that he can't get a lock on you, because one of those guys can actually kill you if he gets a lock on you. So we do not want him to get a lock on us. And so I've found the launcher in this map, because you get a bunch of different maps with a bunch of different map objectives. In this map you have to find the launcher, and you then have to build a bunch of walls around the launcher. You then have to escort the bomb to the launcher, and then after that you have to defend the launcher. So it's like a 3-part mission, you could say. You have to build around the launcher, take the bomb to the launcher, and then defend the launcher. And all things considered, it's a pretty difficult mission. There are certainly a few missions that are considered easier, like rescue the survivors. That's a very easy mission, to be honest. And build the radars. That's also a very easy mission. So these guys did a side objective here, and you then just run up and collect your stuff. There are also 3 different levels of walls in the game. There's like, that's level 1, and then this is level 2 because I've upgraded it once, and then you press F, which increases the HP of the wall. So the HP of the steel wall level 3 is 4060, and the HP of the steel wall level 2 is 2610. So you can see that it goes up by about 1400 when you upgrade it to level 4 or to level 3, but it costs quite a lot of resources. It costs like 50 resources in order to upgrade a single wall from level 1 to level 3. And that's like a car. You basically have to destroy 1 car or 2 cars in order to get 50 resources, like this thing. We will destroy it and see how much steel we get. Okay, 34 resources. So you basically have to destroy almost 2 of those trucks in order to get enough resources to just upgrade a single wall. So you can see that resource management is quite important in the game, and the time that you aren't spending running around and destroying stuff for resources, you use to build. And after you've built your base, you then start the objective, which you can fortunately with most objectives do at any time that you wish. And you then just defend your objective and hope that your base holds up against the onslaught of zombies. So right now you can see on the map the guys are running around just basically farming resources and building the base. The bomb will move from A to B once we have built the track, because you build a track in this objective. You build a track and then you move the bomb from A to B, and once the bomb gets to B, you then have to defend the launcher so that the bomb can launch. And this is just one type of objective. Obviously I'm not going to be able to show you guys all of the objectives in the game, because there's like about 10 objectives, and some of the missions take upwards of an hour. This one, like I said, will hopefully only take about 15 to 20 minutes, depending how quickly we start the bomb launch. And you get 5 different enemies in the game. You get those guys that carry a canister, You just basically shoot the canister and then they explode. Then you get these zombies, which are just normal zombies. Then you get these guys that are fat guys, like those guys that have the gas canister on their shoulder. And they obviously have a little bit more HP. And then you get a lobber. The lobbers are a female zombie which throws bombs. They are really quite damaging to your fort, and they have a very long range. Okay, I see they started the bomb just now, so I need to be heading over there in order to help them. So you get those female zombies that throw bombs, and then you get like little tiny zombies that are very quick, and they basically swarm you. They like create a swarm around you, and they can kill you pretty quickly if a bunch of them are around you. So I'm going to drop down here. I see there's a bunch of zombies here actually. So I'm going to stay quiet for a little bit so that you guys can hear the sound and all of that stuff. And then after we've moved the bomb, I will start explaining a little bit more again.
The bomb is taking damage. The bomb is blocked.
So this one so far is actually quite tame. It's a very tame one. Usually you are fucking swarmed with zombies when this bomb moves, but it seems for some reason there's not a lot of zombies spawning right now.
Not today, chums. Shoot it, stab it, or fix it. We got trouble. The connection has been lost.
So as you can see with my Dragon Slash ability, I can kill a whole area of zombies with just one technique. And that's really quite good because, like I said, the more zombies that you can kill without using bullets, the better. Because bullets have to be created again, and if you're spending all your time creating bullets and farming resources for your bullets, then you're going to be spending less time actually doing the important stuff, like killing zombies and doing the main objectives.
The launcher will auto-target the rift while it charges.
So this is a pretty crappy base, but we should be able to survive since we have a few high levels in the game at the moment. You can see the guys' levels there at the top left. We have a level 77, 76, 58, and I'm actually the lowest level in this map right now, but I usually manage to be on the top damage dealers, even though I am much lower level than them. Like, where can I see my level? I think I'm 45. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm level 45, so I'm quite lower level than any of the other guys in here. But you guys will see at the end, I will probably be on the top damage dealers. So this is one of those lobbers that I talked about. It's a female zombie, and they have a very large range, and they throw these balls at you, either blue balls or these yellow balls, and they're not very accurate, but when they throw to your base, they usually hit your base. So and those things deal quite a bit of damage to your base, so you really need to be on the lookout for them, because they often aren't even close to you, yet they because they have such a huge range, yet they can destroy your base quite quickly if you aren't aware of them. So around here somewhere is a TV. There we go, because I need to destroy TVs for my side objective, and then we can jump out of here again. One thing that I do like about the game is that there's a bunch of little side stuff like that. I mean, you couldn't really see it if I didn't have my objective indicated down there, then I probably wouldn't have seen that. And there's really a bunch of stuff like that, like sometimes underneath buildings there will be like a whole bunch of catacombs down there with chests and stuff like that. So I really quite like that. It's not just the stuff that you see on the surface. There's actually a lot of stuff to be looted lower, like under the ground and stuff like that. And there are chests in the game. You do get chests which have a bunch of random loot in it, but it's not permanent loot. It's not like schematics or anything like that, because schematics are the stuff that you use to craft weapons. Like these at the side here are my schematics. So these are schematics that you keep throughout the entire game, and when you want to use a weapon, you then click on it and you click craft, and that will then craft that weapon. All of these other weapons, like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, are weapons that I just picked up through the game, because sometimes in chests you do pick up weapons like that. So you could possibly go through the entire game without really getting a good schematic, a good legendary schematic, but I mean, you will some or another time get a good legendary schematic, and then you just upgrade it using schematic XP. And obviously upgraded weapons are quite a bit more powerful than normal weapons. Like this is my most powerful weapon. It's this one here, and you can see 25,000 DPS, and it's a level 82 power weapon. But this level 80 power weapon, which is just 2 power lower than that one, only does 4,500 DPS. This one does 14,000 DPS, so it's still basically half the power of this one. And you can see this one does a lot of damage, like almost as much as this one, but this one absolutely eats through your bullets. I will show you guys. It fucking destroys your bullets. So you can see it shoots out 10 shotgun rounds, which are quite pricey to craft in just a few seconds. Whereas this other one, it also shoots out the bullets very quickly, but it does more damage per bullet actually. And you can craft 40 bullets of this gun, 40 bullets, whereas you can only craft 12 bullets of this gun at a time. So the 12 shotgun bullets are much more expensive than the 40 medium bullets. You can do more damage with the 40 medium bullets than what you can with the 12 shotgun shells. So that's why this gun is really my best gun. And then I also have melee weapons that I use because I am a Ninjas are actually supposed to only use melee weapons, to be honest. But I'm a ninja that uses ranged weapons. You really don't usually see ninjas that use ranged weapons. So let me just quickly find out from these guys if we can start or what's the hold up. While I wait for them, we can place a few traps. Traps are really also a very important thing in the game because they do the work that you, like if you let a zombie through accidentally or something like that, then the traps can deal with the zombies because the spawn points are like there and there. And you usually run to those spawn points, like just here is a spawn point at those little clouds over there. So you attack there, but if a zombie got past, then you want the zombie to be killed by your stuff, by your traps. So traps are really quite important for that because they allow you to not have to run back to your base in order to kill the zombies. And I will explain a little bit more about traps a little bit later. They are really just quite useful for catching the stray zombies that get past you. Okay, it looks like I can start. So we will start it, and we now have to defend the launcher for 4 minutes. And I'm just corralling all of these guys up, and then I zap them dead. You guys will see a little bit of lag here and there. It's just basically my connection. It's not like game lag or anything like that. It's just because I'm quite far away from the server. So like there I killed a shitload of zombies and I didn't even need to shoot a single bullet. That's the thing that I really like about the ninja. And there I killed basically the entire wave of zombies with just one technique once again. So I really quite like the ninja because of that. The soldier also has a bunch of abilities like that, where you don't really need to use bullets all that much, but in my opinion the ninja is the most powerful when it comes to not having to use ammo all that much. And you will see this zombie is red, where normally they are like grey. That is because you get 4 different elements of zombies. You get water zombies, fire zombies, lightning zombies, and what's the other type of zombie? I forgot, but you get 4 different types of zombies, and those zombies are I think 50% resistant against normal bullets. So the way that you kill them efficiently is by using their opposite element weapons. So you get these fire zombies. You have to kill them with water weapons, and if a water zombie comes, then you have to kill them with nature weapons. And if a nature zombie comes, then you have to kill him with a fire weapon, and so on and so forth. So I am basically dealing with this entire top part, and the other 3 guys are dealing with that bottom part. So you can see the cool thing about this ninja is that I can cover an entire spawning point on my own, when the other 3 guys have to cover that bottom spawning point. And you guys will probably see at the end, I will probably be the highest damage dealer. If my fucking techniques just want to work correctly, like I said, because of the lag that I have, connection lag that I have, because I'm so far away from the server. Sometimes I use an ability and I will just literally move through all of the guys, through all of the zombies, without even damaging them. So there's certainly a few things that still need to be sorted out. I mean, like I said, it's early access, but it really sucks doing a technique like that at the perfect time and then it not doing any damage to any of the zombies. You know, you can very easily die from that, because you wanted to kill all of those zombies and now they're not killed, and then all of them just immediately attack you. So that really quite sucks when that happens. But like, it happens maybe 1 in 10 times that will happen, where I use an ability and it doesn't do anything. But like I said, that will hopefully be worked out once the game exits early access. So as we can see here, I am the lowest level by far. I'm 30 levels below that guy, 30 levels below that guy, and I am 13 levels below this guy. But I did more damage than both of those guys, and that guy is actually the same class as I am, exact same hero and same class as I am. That guy is a soldier, so he deals more damage with weapons like guns. And I was second on the damage dealt. I was only 700 points behind that guy. So the fact that this hero can actually do more damage than someone who is 30 levels above me, and I even deal more damage than someone who is 30 levels above me and has exactly the same hero, that pretty much just comes down to skill, I guess. Even though, like I said, I have a shitload of lag due to my location. So that is the first mission. As you can see there, all of those chests, if you did really well in the mission, you get the best chest. If you did really shitty in the mission and you didn't contribute a whole lot, then you get the lowest chest. And the chest basically just determines how much rewards you get at the end of the match. You will get rewards regardless of how well you did, but getting the best chest will give you the most rewards. And we got the best chest in that thing, the level 6 chest, and we can get a bunch of seasonal gold, malachite and schematic XP. So if you got any of the lower chests, like if you got a level 4 chest or something like that, then we probably only would have gotten like 4000 XP and like 10 malachite. But because we got the best one, we got this amount and that amount. And then we go on to the next rewards, and we get our V-Bucks, which was a additional reward on that mission, because sometimes the missions that you select give like the normal stuff, like we did this mission, so we will always get that those rewards that we got, the schematic and the malachite ore, but you sometimes get additional rewards, like for instance here. This reward is basically the same as that one there, but on this one you also get snowflake tickets. So for this one we got the V-Bucks, the 30 V-Bucks, and you can only get that once. And if you are going to do this one, then we're going to get the snowflake tickets, which you use to purchase llamas. So I will quickly explain a little bit more about the game. Because we leveled up now, we can go to our skill tree and we can spend our skills. So these skills over here cost 3 skill points to purchase 1 skill node. Basically you work your way through the game like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. So you start out here. Once you are done with that, you go over here. Once you are done with that, you go over here. And once you are done with that, you go over here. So the game has a few pretty interesting leveling up mechanics. Obviously at the top left you can see my current level, quote unquote level, is 45, but that is correlated from a bunch of different aspects. So all of these skills here that you buy are correlated into your power. All of these skills are correlated into your power. Your squads are also correlated into your power. So all of these squads over here also add to your power. So for instance, you see I'm 45 right now. I'm a little bit into 45. If I remove this one, I will actually go down in level or down in power. So let's remove her, and then we go from level 45 down to level 43. So you can see I lost 2 levels just from removing that one there. So that is how the power level thing works. It's not like normal levels that you gain in, let's say, Skyrim or anything like that. It's actually a coalition or correlating effect from a bunch of different aspects in the game. So if you put her in again, we will go back up to level 45. And then you can see level 45. So all of these things and all of these things and all of these things together form your power, and that increases your stats in the game, and it also increases your missions. The amount of missions which you can see on the map is increased the higher your level is. So currently I can see these missions, but if I was like level 70, then I would be able to see a bunch of extra missions over here. So I hope you guys understand how that works. So I'm quickly going to spend a skill point here, or 3 skill points here. Let's see what that one does. Yeah, I guess we can take that one. So I'm going to spend my 3 skill points by getting that, and you will see here at the top left, my skill power or my power level goes up by a very small margin. And as you guys saw in that mission that we did just now, some guys are level 70 or 75, and that just basically means that they are further progressed in all of this, and they have better guys and more powerful guys in here, because I have a bunch of epics in here. Like, you can select the guys that you put in here, and I have a bunch of epics, but I don't really spend money on the game. The game is pay to win, by the way. I haven't mentioned that yet. The game is really pay to win. So if you spend a lot of cash on the game, you are going to get all of these guys legendary quality, and all of these guys legendary quality, and the legendary quality guys are more powerful than the epic guys, and obviously the epic guys are more powerful than the rare quality guys, and the rare quality guys are more powerful than the normal quality guys, and the normal quality guys are more powerful than the I don't know what you call that rarity, shitty rarity probably. So that's the different levels of rarity, and the more loot chests that you buy, the more legendary guys that you are going to have. I really don't have a bunch of legendary guys. I put all of my legendary guys in here, but pretty much only, like, I don't know, 15% or so of my entire squad is legendary guys. The rest are epics, and I even have a few rares in here, as you can see. So let me quickly show you the loot chests that you get. It's basically...
oh yeah, raking it in.
It's basically like these llamas, and you can see their eyes follow your mouse cursor. and you just hit them, and whatever you get out of them, that is your loot. So let's quickly open this one.
Well, that's me.
So as you can see there, we opened that one. We got a few of these survivors, and we got a blue gun. Now this gun is a permanent gun. It will now be in my inventory. So if you buy a bunch of these llamas and stuff like this one, you see you can get epic stuff in there, and you can also get legendary stuff in there. So obviously if I bought a bunch of these ones, then I will have a shitload of legendary weapons, like good legendary weapons, because you get good legendary weapons and then you get really bad legendary weapons. So currently this is my entire inventory, all of the schematics that I have collected so far, including my trap schematics, and there you can see is the gun that I just got. So if I were a pay-to-win whale of a player, then I will just have a shitload of legendary weapons here. But honestly, I only have basically 4 legendary weapons, and that's this one, this one, this one, and this one that I actually use. I don't use any of the other legendary weapons because they are crappy, because you get rolls, you get like different rolls on your weapon. And you can see here you get normal rolls, rare rolls, I think you get epic rolls if I'm not mistaken. No, you don't get epic rolls, so you just get normal rolls, rare rolls, and legendary rolls. And like this one has 2 legendary rolls, but this thing is really bad. 30% damage to stunned, staggered, or knocked down targets is really bad. That's a legendary roll that really doesn't add a whole lot of damage to your weapon. So for instance, this weapon here, which is like I said, my most powerful weapon, rolled really well. It didn't roll perfectly because these could have been legendary rolls. It could have been legendary, 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 but now it's not like that. But at least these normal rolls are good rolls. It's plus 10 damage, plus 10 damage, plus 21 crit, plus 28 crit, and then this last legendary roll isn't that good. It's pretty good, but it's certainly not the best. But altogether this makes this weapon really quite powerful for me. And this is my schematic XP, that there. You use schematic XP to level up your weapons. So if I went into this one, for instance, and I want to level it up, obviously as you see there, you get at different levels you get those perks, you unlock those attributes. So this weapon is level 1 right now, so if I went to upgrade and then level up, then it will increase from level 1 to level 2. So if you do that a bunch of times, then you will unlock all of these different attributes. So if I click on this right now, it will take 300 schematic XP, and then it will take like 500, and then 800, and then 1200, and so on and so forth. And obviously, as you can see here, in order to upgrade this one, it's going to cost 10,000 schematic XP, because the weapon is level 30. So it really goes up quite quickly. I will only be able to level up this weapon probably like 10 or 12 times before I run out of schematic XP. And once again, the schematic XP you get from disenchanting weapons, and the more loot llamas that you buy and the more money that you spend on the game, the more schematics you will have, like the more schematics you will have here, and you can then just disenchant those schematics. So you go here, recycle, and you can just disenchant a bunch of these schematics that you don't use, and look at that, you will get 50,000 schematic XP from just disenchanting a few of these schematics. So obviously you can see you get a colossal advantage if you actually spend a bunch of money on the game. But as I said, I'm pretty much a free-to-play player. All of this V-Bucks that I have here, I got through dailies and stuff like that. So I really don't spend money on the game. I just basically bought the game for $40. That's what the game costs, by the way. The base version of the game costs $40. And then after that you can upgrade to Deluxe, Super Deluxe and Limited. And I think the limited edition costs like in total like $150 or something like that if you buy the game in addition to this. And then you get a bunch of different stuff and a bunch of legendary loot and stuff like that. So you can very clearly see that the game is pay to win, like really pay to win. There's some stuff that you do in the game, like doing dailies and side quests and all of that kind of stuff, that actually give you rewards which are cancelled out, like this for instance. If I go out of my way to actually do the side quest, it will take me probably like 20 to 25 minutes. And that's if I get all of the teddy bears in a single mission. If I don't get all of the teddy bears in a single mission, then I will have to do a second run, a second mission run in order to do that. Or I could just buy one of these llamas. One of these llamas will give me more loot than what I get from this. This only gives me €1 and 4,000 euro XP. So one llama, which costs $3.50 basically, that's the price of this thing basically, $3.50. One llama is equal to more than a single quest. So do you want to spend in excess of 30 minutes doing this quest, or do you just want to buy one llama and get more rewards from that? So you can clearly see that if you spend a bunch of money on the game, you will be much more powerful and in a much better position than someone who doesn't spend money on the game, because you will have a colossal amount of schematic XP. I've seen people who have like 3 million schematic XP simply because they spend like $1,000 on the game. You also get Euro XP. I've seen people with like 5 million Euro XP. And you also get another type of XP, Survivor XP, you also get. So once again, like I said, if all of these survivors here were legendary quality, then my power level would probably be close to 60, even though I would still be on the same level, the same quest level, because you get a main quest. This is basically your main quest. So I would be doing this main quest, but I would be fucking level 60 instead of being level 45. So yeah, you can clearly see the game is very pay to win. But as a free-to-play player, my opinion on the game is that the game is still quite playable. You can still get relatively good loot. If you're unlucky, then obviously you're not gonna get a bunch of legendaries. I have been pretty lucky, in addition to the fact that I have played in excess of 300 hours on the game, on free to play, and I've gotten all of these. So the game is playable as a free to play player, but yeah, if I had $1,000 to spend on the game, I would probably do it simply because it would save me hundreds and hundreds of hours of grinding in order to get more weapons and increase my power level and stuff like that, because the game would be easier for me if I was like level 60 right now, which is achievable if you just spend like $1,000 on the game or whatever. Probably not even $1,000, probably like $500 could make me level 60 right now. So yeah, that's basically all I'm going to say about the pay to win aspect and the loot aspects. Basically, as you guys saw, from that one llama you open llamas, you get loot, you get different kinds of weapons that use different kinds of bullets. This one uses medium bullets. You can see the little icon there. This one uses energy bullets. This one uses shotgun shells, and this one uses light bullets. And then this one uses like sniper rifle, heavy type bullets. And those are the 5 different bullets that you get. And you basically have to make it so that you have one weapon, one strong primary weapon of each of the different types of bullets. Because otherwise you're going to be crafting a bunch of the one type of bullets, and you're going to have an excess of the other types of bullets, which is not good. So yeah, I'm also quickly going to show you guys the other aspect of the game, which is the storm defense. Now, storm defense is really quite important also, because it allows you to progress further in the main quest. Every now and then, as you progress through the main quest, you will get higher levels of storm shield defense. Now, this is your storm shield. You have a storm shield in each region, which I will show you after I've shown you this thing. So you get 5 different storm, or no, 4. You get 4 different storm shields, which is like your bases, and you have to defend your base, and it's like a few different waves of zombies that attack your main base, your storm shield. And if they get through and if they destroy your storm shield, then you have to do the entire mission over again, in addition to having to repair your base. You also have to fucking repair your base, which is bothersome. So this is my base currently. This zone that we are in is Canny Valley. The name of the zone is Canny Valley. So at the moment this is the 3rd zone. I will show you guys the other zones after this. So this is your main thing. I will quickly go in here and show you guys how it looks. This is the main thing. If the zombies get through to here, then they will destroy your thing, and you will have to do the mission over again. And so I have built a shitload of walls around this thing, and put traps on the floors and traps on the ceilings and all of that, in order to defend this thing. So this is your main storm shield thing. But as the levels go on, as you go to Storm Shield Defense 2 and Storm Shield Defense 3 and Storm Shield Defense 4 and so on and so forth, you have to place more Storm Shield bases. So it gets more difficult, because instead of just defending this main base, you then have to defend that base also, and then you have to defend that base also. Over there's another base, and then after that you have to place another base. You see there's one base. After that you have to place another base over there. You see over there there's another base location, and so on and so forth. Eventually you have like 5 or 6 different locations that you have to defend all at once, while the zombies are attacking you from different areas. So that's why this is really a quite difficult mission, but you luckily only have to do this mission 10 times, or you actually only have to do it 5 times. You have to do it 5 times, but you can do it 10 times. The additional 5 times after the first 5 times just basically give you a little bit of extra resources. So when I do my next one, I will have to go there and I will have to build a base around that thing there. So basically it will look something like this. You basically place the thing down there, and then you have to build a bunch of walls around the thing like this, for instance. So you just build it closed and build it on top also, and then the zombies will spawn everywhere around it. They will like spawn over there, and they will spawn over there, and they will try to destroy this thing, and you have to defend against that. And if they manage to destroy this thing, then you're fucked. Then you have to start over again. So that's basically how the main missions work. You get main missions, and then you get these main missions basically. So that's the other type of missions that you get. But fortunately in these missions you can get 3 other guys to help you. So you don't have to do it solo. In fact, it's extremely difficult to do it solo. You can do it solo, but you are going to have a very difficult time defending against all of those zombies solo, unless you are like really powerful. Like I said, if you have spent thousands of dollars on the game, then you can pretty much solo a lot of stuff, which I, as a free-to-play player, can't solo. So once again, like I said, the game is really quite pay to win. So I showed you guys that stuff just there. There is currently a special survive the storm thing which you can do, which basically almost works like that mission that I showed you just now, where you place a generator down on the ground. You have to build around that generator, and then over the course of 7 days you get attacked by 7 waves of increasingly powerful zombies. So it basically works the same as that other mission, and then you get like a bunch of little rewards. But it's not really worth it in my opinion, since for instance this one over here gives you 1,125 snowflake tickets, which you can use to buy 1 holiday llama, because a 1 holiday llama costs 1,000 tickets. So you basically can do that map. You can do this map, which takes about 2 hours. If you do it slowly, it takes about 2.5 hours. If you do it really quickly, like really quickly, it will take you about 1.5 hours. You do that like 1.5 hours to 2.5 hours to get 1 llama, like one of these llamas. Or you can just buy like one of these llamas, which costs you $3.50. So once again, you can see you can spend like 2 hours doing something like that mission, like this mission here, 2 hours to do this mission. Or you can simply go and buy a llama for $3.50, and it will be the same rewards. In fact, you get some llamas which cost $5, which give a lot more resources than these llamas. So yeah, you can really see that it's bothersome. Sometimes you spend 2 hours doing a mission like that, whereas another guy will just spend like $5 on the game, and he will have gotten more resources, more schematics and rewards than what you got after those 2 hours, and he simply had to enter his credit card details. So this is the very first area that you get. It's level 1 to level 19. So this is the first place that you do, and the missions are like level 5, level 9, you can see there, level 15, you can see there. So level 5s and level 1s and level 19s and all of that do these missions at the beginning. And you can see here my storm shield power is 10, meaning I completed that storm shield mission 10 times. And then you move on to this guy, this place, Plankerton. It's not called Plankerton because my name is Plank, it's actually called Plankerton. It just so happens that my name is Plank. So you then do this one 10 times again, and here are missions ranging from level 15 to level 46, and once you are done there, you then come to this place where I am currently, which is level 40 to level 70, and you do all of these missions, and after you have done that, you get to this place, which is level 70 to level 100. Level 100 is currently the maximum level in the game, even though I have never seen a level 100. The highest level I've seen so far is like level 95. So let us jump into another mission. I will do one more mission quickly, and then I will at the end give you guys my opinion on the game, or my conclusion on the game. So let's see here what mission I want to do. It seems right now this is the only mission that I can actually do, which will give me progress in the main mission that I want. I can also do this one, and I can also do this one, but it won't give me bonus rewards. This one will actually give me bonus rewards, and it will give me progress in the main mission. So let's go ahead and do this one. It's not a too difficult mission, even though it's 7 levels above my current level. But that other mission that we did at the beginning was a level 70 mission, and I'm only level 45. So you can see that if you are quote unquote good enough, then you can do missions that are like 25 levels above your level, and it's really not so difficult. I mean, I did that first mission and I was higher. I did more damage and I contributed more to the killing of the zombies than what a level 75 and a level 76 did. So yeah, it's basically like any other game where the loot and the weapons and all of that you have will only take you so far. It really also depends on your skill as a player and the way that you play in order to give you an advantage over the other players, because I really have seen some players that have like amazing weapons and are a higher level than me, but they absolutely fucking suck. I do like twice the amount of damage and stuff like that they do, and afterwards they ask me like, how the fuck did I did that, because I'm like 20 levels below them. But the hard fact is that they're a shitty player. They don't know how to play the game. So yeah, all of the different legendary weapons and stuff like that can help you, but if you're a shitty player, then those legendary stuff and spending like $5,000 on the game or whatever isn't going to make you better than I am, simply because I'm more skilled than them. But that's really just with the shitty players. So let's see here. We need to find the atlases very quickly, and we can see there in the distance are the atlases. So you actually get a bonus grade in this mission if you place the atlases very quickly. So we will place that one, and we will place this one very quickly, and then we get the bonus objective, which gives us a silver rank. You basically get like an extra silver rank. Okay, let's quickly do this mission over here, or the side objective over here. Destroy all of those guys. And they're gonna spawn again probably. Okay, and I completed that encampment pretty easily. Normally, for the most part, you will need a little bit of help with the encampment, since that was actually a large encampment. But yeah, sometimes if you get a good hit like that, where I did, where I basically hit all of the zombies with one dragon slash. If you can do it like that, then you can basically complete the thing on your own very quickly. But other classes, like I said, you get a constructor class, you get the outlander class, a ninja class, and a soldier class. Some of the classes are more powerful than the other classes, but each class has their use. Like the constructor class is probably the weakest out of all of the classes, but the constructor class actually is the most useful when it comes to defending your base, because the constructor class makes your base more powerful.
Where to go?
So they increase the health of your base. So where this thing has an HP of 810 HP, if you had a constructor and the constructor puts down his special ability thing, then the HP of the base will actually go up. The base will have like 1000 HP instead of 800 HP. So the constructor class isn't very good with combat, but the constructor class is very good with helping the base stay unbroken, basically, because the special ability that they have not only increases the health of your base, it also regenerates your base, and it also can actually make the zombies that hit your base take damage. So each time that the zombie hits your base, they take damage, which is really very good ability. So each class has their use. The outlander class is basically a class which you use for farming. They basically get a bunch of different abilities which help with breaking down stuff like cars and houses and getting more resources more quickly and more efficiently. So they also don't really have a lot of combat skills. They do have one combat skill, which is a teddy. They place a teddy on the ground and then the teddy shoots the zombies, but that's not really all that useful, to be honest. So yeah, by far the ninja class is the strongest in my opinion, and then the soldier class, and then after that the other classes like the constructor class and the outlander class. So once again, as in the previous mission, you run around, you destroy stuff in order to get more resources, and then you use those resources in order to build your base, and then you start the objective. Fortunately, in this mission also you can start the objective when you want. In some other missions there's a timer, so you have to complete the mission before a certain time, but fortunately in these missions you don't have that time restriction at all. So you can basically start the mission right now if you want to, if you really want to rush, but the common etiquette is usually that you allow the guys to do what they want. You allow them to get some resources, perhaps do some side objectives and stuff like that, and then you go ahead and start the mission once everyone is nice and ready. For fuck's sakes, come on. So I just kill those guys and I loot all of this stuff, and I saw a TV that I need to destroy also, and there's a chest hidden behind this thing also. In this chest you get stuff like weapons and rare resources, sometimes traps also, and the chests are not rare. I wouldn't say they're rare, but there's not a lot of them, to be honest. So there's probably like only like 5 or 6 or 7 chests on the entire map, and you get chests of varying degrees of rarity. You get like a level 1 chest, 2, 3 and 4. I think level 4 chest is probably the highest one that you get. So we need to collect 2 blue glow. That's these blue little things that float around, and then you deposit it into the atlas. The atlas are those things that I built closed over there. So I need to find one more blue glow somewhere. Let's check the map. And then once you've done that, once you found out that 2 blue glow, you can just put it into the atlas and you can actually start the mission then. So you can really start the mission when you want. So I think while there's not a lot going on, I might as well start giving you guys my final opinion on the game. As I said, the game is currently in early access, but they're already asking $40 for the game. So, in my opinion, the game really isn't in early access. Once you ask $40 for a game and you call it early access and you sell loot boxes, your game isn't in early access anymore. That's just my opinion. You can't ask that amount of money for a quote-unquote unfinished game, because that's really what early access means. Early access means the game is unfinished. But this game honestly is not unfinished. It's really quite a solid game already. This game can go like for the next 5 years without any added content or anything like that, and the game will sell millions. The game has already sold millions. The game is really popular. The game is one of the most streamed games on Twitch and on YouTube. So yeah, the game is one of the most streamed games on YouTube and Twitch. I think it's like the second or third most streamed games on Earth, basically, and most played games, basically, also. Since streaming, the amount of people who stream the game on Twitch and on YouTube basically has a direct correlation to the amount of players that the game has. If you look at a game like PUBG or League of Legends and all of those games, Dota 2, that have huge amount of streaming numbers, like all of those games are like in the top 10 amount of streaming. They also have a shitload of players, so the player base is really big, and the amount of money that game makes also is really big. So the fact that quote-unquote early access game like Fortnite can get more streaming numbers than, and more player base, or yeah, well, not more player base numbers, because I don't think that Fortnite's player base is more than Dota or League of Legends, but still it's pretty damn close. The fact that the game that is in early access can get pretty close to that amount of player base that League of Legends and Dota has is evident and is evidence that the game is not fucking early access. And like I said, I've spent in excess of 300 hours on the game, and once you can spend that amount of time in a quote-unquote early access game, the game really isn't early access anymore, since you get fully released games, like quote-unquote fully released games, that you can't fucking spend even 100 hours on. And even though I'm saying you can spend 100 hours on the game, I mean you can spend 100 hours on the game without really feeling bored without it being like a drag or anything like that. Because I mean, there's shitty games, like horribly shitty games like Candy Crush or anything like that, absolutely useless games that you can spend hundreds of hours playing, but it's not fun, it's not enjoyable. But with this game, I've spent 300 hours on the game, and it is actually fun. It is actually an enjoyable game. So there's really a big difference between spending 300 hours on this game and spending 300 hours on another game which really isn't going to be close to as entertaining as this game. And having spent 300 hours on the game, I can very much say that the game is fun, and I do think that the game is probably worth buying for whatever, $40 or whatever. But you have to take into consideration that you are going to be at a distinct disadvantage compared to pay-to-win players, because you can spend often like 2 hours or 3 hours doing a mission or doing a side objective just to get a little bit of a reward, or you can just buy a llama for $5 and you would have gotten more rewards and more schematic XP and more Euro XP and better Euros and all of that from buying the llama than you did from spending 2 hours doing additional content. So yeah, if you spend a lot of money on the game, you are definitely going to have an easier time progressing through the game. You're going to have to spend less time doing quote unquote unnecessary things in the game, and you just basically are going to have a better time, a better experience with the game. I'm not saying that doing those side objectives isn't fun, but doing those side objectives and getting the small reward that you do isn't fun when you compare it to the fact that someone who spent whatever $5 on the game is getting a bigger reward than you, and you spent 2 hours on the game, 2 hours doing a certain thing in the game. So yeah, the game is fun, but it's not fun when you play it with the knowledge that someone who just spent a little bit of money on the game is going to have a huge advantage to you if you didn't spend money on the game. So that's a point I'm trying to make. The game is definitely worth playing. I really have enjoyed most of the 300 hours or so that I've spent on the game, but there's that constant thing in my mind of I could have used this time to do something else, but instead I'm using it to get a little bit of rewards. I could have just spent $5 on the game and gotten a much bigger reward than what I'm doing now, and I'm spending 2 hours on the game doing side objectives and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically my opinion of the game after playing over probably 300 hours of the game. The game is definitely fun, but knowing that the game is so play to win, that really takes a little bit of the pleasure out of the game, for me at least. Other people really don't consider playing a pay to win game as a free to play player all that different, but having spent some money on the game, I really just think that the game is a little bit too much pay to win. But as I said, you can play the game as a free-to-play player. It's not like the game is impossible as a free-to-play player. Another thing that I don't like about the game is that the game is basically impossible to play solo. Like, you basically can't play the game solo. Like a map like this, you won't be able to do it solo unless you spend a huge amount of time crafting traps, placing down traps, and building a bigger base. Like now, we just basically, or I just basically built a small little base, a base which has one layer to it. Like it's a pretty small base. It only has a single layer of protection between the zombies and the main objective. So I mean, I spent like a minute or two building that base, but you could do it solo, I guess, but you would have to build like 3 or 4 layers of defense between you and the main objective, so that the main objective doesn't get destroyed, because there are like zombies coming from each and every direction. I will show you just now on my map. Like if you look at that, there's little red dots fucking everywhere. You will see when they spawn just now. Some of them are going to spawn over here, and some of them are going to spawn over there. So you can see way over there more zombies are spawning. So it's like almost impossible to as a single person defend everywhere. So that's one thing that I really don't like about the game, is the fact that the game is basically impossible as a solo player. You won't be able to defend and do these objectives as a solo player. So yeah, I really hope that they do something about that, because I, to be honest, am much more of a solo player than a multiplayer player. I like solo much more than having to wait for other players and stuff like that. I would much rather do stuff at my own pace than having other players and having to depend on other players. That's another big thing that you have to take into consideration when playing multiplayer games, is that very often you have to depend on other players. So it's not just about your skill, it's not just about your ability as a player to play the game, it's about other players as well. And if other players fuck up, then you are going to suffer. Very often in this game especially, it's the case that I am defending an area on my own, like I am now. I'm defending this entire left area, and then another player at the other end can't defend their area as I am, and then they get past. Oh, there's a mini-boss. The guys get past, like the zombies get past, and they start destroying the base and stuff like that. So you did your job, but simply because the other player isn't doing their job, now you are getting screwed over by that, because they can't defend the base with the same efficiency and capability that you are. So yeah, that's another thing that I really don't like about multiplayer games. So I really hope that they do something about that. Obviously, as I said, the game is early access right now, so a bunch of stuff can still be added to the game and improved on the game, hopefully. But yeah, that's one of the things that I really hope they change, because right now the game is impossible to play solo. You simply can't play the game solo. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think about the game. I'm going to stay quiet for just like 40 seconds or so that you guys can hear a little bit of the dialogue and the sound effects and stuff like that.
30 seconds left to go.
The dangers of secondhand smoke. Can't. Sorry.
Ha! Double trouble! Multi-Atlas wins!
So this time I didn't really do as well as the previous time. Obviously both of these guys are higher levels than me, so it's not really expected of me to do as much damage as they did, since this right here is the combat indicator. But yeah, I did a lot of screwing around and collecting chests and stuff like that in this game, so it's completely understandable. So then once again, all of the stuff that you did through the game and all of the badges that you did go into your chest, and at the end you get your final chest. This is the second best chest that we got. So yeah guys, that is pretty much it. I think I went through everything that there is to go through. There is also a Battle Royale mode in Fortnite, and that mode is actually free. You can actually play the Battle Royale mode for free. You don't even need to purchase the game or anything like that. But for these campaigns, for the campaign, you need to pay $40, which basically unlocks the full game for you. And then you can do all of these missions, and you can gain levels, you can gain schematics, and you can build up your power and all of that. That's really the main part of the game, which you pay $40 for. In the Battle Royale mode, which is a PvP only mode, you don't gain levels, you don't gain heroes, you don't get anything like rare, epic, legendary, anything like that. You don't get anything like that. No weapons, no heroes, no nothing. So that's basically just a PvP mode where you go into the PvP like everyone else. The battlefield is basically equal for everyone. No one has an advantage over anyone else. You just go in there and you kill everyone, and you try to be the last person to survive the battle. I can actually go over here and show you guys that mode. So we go to select game mode and then Battle Royale. So this is the Battle Royale mode. So I have done this mode, but on my other account. I haven't done it on this account yet because I actually have a free-to-play account, and then I have another account which I only do Battle Royale on. So basically in Battle Royale you just gain cosmetic stuff. So if you go here to your locker, you have a bunch of cosmetic stuff, and you can also buy stuff, but once again it's only cosmetics. All of these are outfits. None of this stuff actually has stats. You can't get any weapons, you can't get any advantages, you don't have any stats or attributes or skill points at all. Everything is made so that no one has an advantage over anyone else. And then you basically get dropped into a zone, and you have to forage and look for treasure in little houses. The whole place is full of houses and stuff like that. and in that you get guns which you can only keep for the duration of the match. So if you pick up a gun, it has limited ammo, and you can only use that gun and that ammo in that match. If you die, you lose your guns. If you make it to the end of the match, you just basically get more experience and stuff like that than what the other people do, and then it's just basically rinse and repeat. You just basically go on and on and on like that. It's just a PvP mode, very much like many other PvP modes, like for instance League of Legends or World of Warcraft or anything like that. You don't really get anything out of it, even though in World of Warcraft you do get honor, which you can use to buy gear, but in this you just basically get levels which give you cosmetic rewards, basically the same as in League of Legends. You just basically get cosmetic rewards and stuff like that. So yeah, but I don't play this mode because I don't really like it. I just play the PvE missions basically. So yeah guys, that is pretty much it. I don't think there's anything that I've really missed in the game. As I said, oh, here's one thing that I nearly missed. This was actually added pretty recently, like a few days ago. While doing missions, while doing certain missions, you get seasonal gold. You see there, seasonal gold. And as I said, this has only been added in the past few days. So you get that seasonal gold, and you don't get a lot. You get like, I don't know, 50 seasonal gold per match, basically, something like that. And you can use that seasonal gold in order to buy certain things. Like you can actually buy a hero, a legendary hero, which is actually quite good. Or you can buy a legendary weapon, or legendary traps, legendary defenders, or you can even convert your seasonal gold to V-Bucks, and then you can use that V-Bucks to buy piñatas if you want to. So this is something that was added recently, and it is a really good feature. I'm really in favor of this feature, since it allows you to not just depend on RNG and random loot drops from the piñatas. It actually allows you to buy something that you want. So if you want this gun, and if the gun looks really good for you, then you can just buy it by playing normal missions and then eventually being able to buy it. So that's something that I really quite like, and I really think it's a good addition to the game. I really hope that they add more stuff, because this isn't really a lot. I mean, it's like 10 stuff over a year, and then like, I don't know, 13 or 15 stuff over a year. So it's really a small selection of stuff right now, but I hope that they add more stuff to this eventually. But this is a really good addition to the game, simply because, like I said, it allows you to buy what you want, and you get the seasonal gold through doing actual gameplay. So that's really quite a good thing, in addition to the loot that you get from this. And I've showed you all of that stuff there. I've showed you all of that stuff there. I showed you the most important stuff here, and the different heroes that you get. You can basically select your different heroes here, and you upgrade the heroes using hero XP, which makes them more powerful, gives you more health, gives you more abilities, since each hero has abilities like here, which you unlock by leveling them up. You can see this ability you only get on level 30, this one you only get on level 25, currently my hero is level 40, and yeah, stuff like that. So I've pretty much showed you all of that, and yeah, I've showed you all of this. So yeah guys, that is pretty much it. Thanks very much for watching. I really think that the game is really good right now, pretty good, especially if you are going to be spending money on it. And the game is currently in early access, even though I don't think that it should be in early access, but it is constantly still being updated with more content. More content is being added every now and then, so that's really good. So I certainly think that Fortnite is a game that's already worth playing, and as more content gets added to the game, I think the game will only get bigger and better, and hopefully a few things will be done to make the game more accessible and more equal to free-to-play players, hopefully. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.